working to see the facets of everything. Hi. I just want to talk today about the idea of shutdowns. Michigan just got put under a new shutdown. I know other states are doing similar things. New York City has a 10 p.m. curfew. Shutdowns absolutely help mitigate the spread. Viruses travel from person to person to surface to person, person through air to a person. So the less you are around people, absolutely, the less it will spread. So shutdowns help in that regard. But I wanted to talk about the economic aspect of shutdowns and the idea that, for 8 or 9 months now, we haven't had a comprehensive national plan. We've had state plans, but as we're allowed to travel within states, the virus has absolutely spread around completely. And so because of that, now we're looking at another shutdown here in Michigan again and in New York. And I have watched several small businesses, some close for a little while with lots of economic hardship, and some close maybe for good. And I just want to talk about the fact that we can't just shut down businesses. And I'm looking specifically at like restaurants and bars and clubs and all these places that we love to go to. I personally love to go to. We can't shut these places down and offer no relief and expect full rent due, which is what was happening in New York City with these already absolutely inflated rents. And so I know some of my friends' favorite places have shut down. And so I just want us to think about the idea that while shutdowns are necessary, they absolutely cannot happen without some form of economic relief, whether it's a mortgage moratorium or a rent moratorium or rent relief. If we have shutdowns, we need to also fiscally account for them. There are ways to do this without completely losing the money, by just taking a pause for some of the bigger corporations that can do that. And then for smaller businesses, it's really important to look at corporations and small family-owned business as almost two completely different entities, because they operate differently. A business with 9 to 20 to 30 employees as a restaurant is much different than, say, JP Morgan and Chase or Amazon or Walmart or Home Depot or any of these companies that were allowed to stay open during shutdowns. And so I just want to say that I think while shutdowns are necessary, we also need to have some sort of relief in there. These PPP loans that were supposed to be available for small businesses, I understand the structure of business. I understand that an LLC or an S Corp or whatever is separate from a person's personal business. So I get the separation there, and I understand why it exists. And I honestly do actually think it is one of the things that makes doing business in this country great. You can afford to take a lot of risks as a business without putting all of your personal finances at risk. But the idea that a lot of these PPP loans went to congressmen and senators themselves, and also people like Kanye West, these are people who absolutely can weather this storm, while, my friend's bar did not get a PPP loan even though they applied. There is a place where ethics starts to get involved, and there's a lot of businesses that, they have 9 to 10 employees. These companies are the things that add zest to our small towns and our cities. This really kind of is a global universal thing. It's not just a rural thing, and it's not just an urban thing. Anytime you visit somewhere, whether, again, it's the middle of the woods or nowhere, or in the middle of a city metropolitan area, I know my personal favorite places are those one-off little bookstores or coffee shops or restaurants that there's only one of that exists there, and it's just a really special place. And these are the places we need to protect. These are the places that don't have lawyers, teams of lawyers and teams of people to get these PPP loans, because let's be honest, that's what this is. You have to have the money to get the money. And so, even just, for example, looking at Trump's tax records, not to kind of get too much into that, up until 2018, every freelancer understands all the things that he was trying to write off. It absolutely is a game. And, these are things that help you get ahead in your business, so you attempt to write them off. I mean, some of them aren't legal, so your good accountant would tell you what you can and cannot write off legally. But, it takes a team of lawyers. And so again, it just comes back to the money rewarding money. And I just want us to ask ourselves, how do we reward these small businesses that bring so much to our lives, and the people who work at these small businesses, not just the business owners, but the employees during this shutdown time period. The restaurants, the yoga studios, the bookstores, all of these places. Some of these I know can be open somewhat, but many people have been laid off. And I think a lot of people have done an amazing job getting through this pandemic. But if we are doing forced shutdowns of restaurants and bars at a certain hour, and let's be honest, like in New York City, bar hour is after 10 p.m., or at least it was until I was, a mom. But we need to really be looking at, moving forward, how we manage this debt relief. Are we using it to reward corporations further, or are we using it to protect our quality of life? So yeah, thank you for watching. Please have a blessed day. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. That's a loaded holiday there. I know this holiday brings forth many emotions for different people, so whatever it is for you, I hope that on this planet we learn how to all treat each other with love, kindness, and respect, and be thankful for our planet, our families, ourselves, and our earth. Thank you very much. Take care, and many blessings for this holiday. Take care. Much love.